Everybody, thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. We are going to the mayor's weekly press briefing. Mayor Greenberg is joining up with Doris Sims, the Senior Vice President of Business Development, and Danny Wimmer, familiar name to many of us here in the community with Danny Wimmer Presents, and other community members are coming together to talk about some new groundbreaking partnerships happening between Danny Wimmer Presents and Louisville Metro Government. So a press conference is happening right now, and let's jump in.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. There is a lot going on all across our city, just as there's a lot going on all across our country. And we have some really exciting things to talk about today before we get to any questions from members of the media. First, let me welcome you all here to Colonial Gardens in South Louisville. It's great to be here. It's always great to be across the street from all of the activity happening in and around Iroquois Park, an amazing gem in our city. And we're here because we have an exciting announcement to share about Iroquois Amphitheater that I'll get to in a moment. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the Kentucky General Assembly. Last year, our city received historic investment of over $1 billion from the Kentucky General Assembly all across our city in a variety of projects. We are so grateful to the leaders and the members of the Kentucky General Assembly who saw these investments in our city as an investment in the state's future. Through those conversations, we've developed strong partnerships, and we will continue to strengthen those partnerships and relationships for the future of Louisville and for the future of the Commonwealth. Now that the General Assembly is back in session, we want to continue to build on that momentum in this 2025 session and as we move into another budget session in 2026. The General Assembly will be reconvening next week. So I wanted to share what our top legislative priorities are for this short session of the Kentucky General Assembly. The conversations my team and I are having with leaders in Frankfort will continue for the remainder of this session, and we're focused really on the top priorities of our administration, of our city. And they include, of course, at the top, improving public safety, spurring economic development, creating more housing, and investing in key capital projects. Again, we know that this is not a budget session for the Kentucky General Assembly, but we want this to be top of mind, if nothing else, to start early for the 2026 session. So let's just talk about each one of those areas briefly. First, with public safety. Our public safety priorities include steps to help combat violent crimes by several different things. One is an issue that we will continue to advocate for as long as I am mayor, regardless of what the political climate is. And that is to give Louisville the autonomy to require background checks and waiting periods on all gun sales. There are some unique issues going on here in Louisville with respect to violent crime compared to other parts of Kentucky, and we in Louisville should have the autonomy to have all the tools that we can think of to reduce the amount of gun violence here in Louisville. Some of our other legislative requests include enacting a narrowly targeted wiretapping law so we can have more tools available to crack down on gangs that are operating in our city. Allowing the city to crush cars involved in illegal street racing that I'm going to talk more about in a moment. Protecting transit drivers from assault and recruiting more park rangers so that places like Iroquois Park right across the street can have a strong park ranger program that are dedicated to keeping our parks safe and healthy for everyone. Beyond public safety, we want to continue to help our economy grow. And we're asking the General Assembly this year to boost tourism, to help us support working families and ensure better mobility throughout our city. We can do that with the state's help. Our top economic development priority for this session is for the General Assembly to help make Louisville and other places around the Commonwealth provided with stronger state incentives to retain and attract multi-day large events like Bourbon and Beyond, like Louder Than Life, like Gazebo Festival, or other festivals that we haven't even yet dreamt of. Louisville is a wonderful place to welcome people from around the world. We see it every year with the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Derby Festival. Now the world is seeing it with great events like Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life. We want to expand and increase the size of those events. We want more large festivals like that, and we can do that with some help from the state. Other economic development incentives include asking the state to help us shore up the finances of TARC so that we can have a strong and vibrant public transportation system that operates across our city. And providing state support for Thrive by 5 Louisville, which is the new nonprofit we've created here in Louisville that's working to make quality early learning available for all 3- and 4-year-olds, to help children get an early start on learning and help their parents get back into the workforce. And finally, housing. Building more housing all across our city in every corner of our county is a top priority of ours. And we want some more help from the General Assembly so that in turn, Louisville families have more opportunities to have safe, quality, and affordable housing. To be blunt, we have a housing crisis in Louisville, and we need all the help that we can get. Like every other industry, housing is based on supply and demand. And right now in Louisville, there simply is not enough supply of housing. Not enough supply of for sale homes, of rental homes, of condos, of duplexes, of townhomes. You name the type of home, we need more of them. And until we can do more, rent for Louisville families will continue to rise and home ownership opportunities will dwindle. So we're supporting a range of proposals, big and small, to create more housing opportunities for Louisville families and families all across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Things like new tax credits for building affordable housing for first-time home buyers, for sales taxes on building materials for single-family homes. We also need to prevent bad actors who have been purchasing vacant properties and make it easier for faith-based institutions and religious institutions to build affordable rental property on their own properties. To expand industrial revenue bonds to include new housing projects, that's a small change. It's one of those technical, some might call it a wonky change, that could have a huge impact on the availability of affordable housing across our community. We are proposing a lot of ideas. We've been in conversations with leaders of the General Assembly during the interim session and their housing task force. We're excited about continuing those conversations, anything we can do to help Louisville families and Kentucky families have more opportunities for housing. And finally, even though we know it's not a budget year, we want to talk about some of the capital projects that we're excited to ask the General Assembly to help continue supporting here in Louisville. In particular, we're pushing for more support for projects that we are already working on downtown, and we're also pushing for more support for projects here in the South End. And that starts with Jefferson Memorial Forest. What an amazing asset in our community. The largest urban forest in the entire country is right here in Louisville. And as we're working on the planning for the next generations for Jefferson Memorial Forest, we would love to have state support for that along to continue the momentum of those investments we've already been making in downtown. We also want to work with Frankfurt to invest in a new training facility for our first responders and a new aquatics, swimming, and training center to help capitalize on the momentum we have being a world-class swimming city. More details are in the release that we've provided today, and we're going to continue talking with legislators about these and other priorities in the weeks ahead. We're excited about continuing the momentum that we have with our partners in Frankfurt, with Governor Beshear, with the leaders of the General Assembly in the state and the House, and we're confident that these strong relationships will cause even more good things to happen all across our city, to make Louisville and all of Kentucky safer, stronger, and healthier. And one of the things that helps make our cities healthier is our amazing park system. Again, we are right across the street from Iroquois Park, one of my favorite places to run, unless I'm running all the way to the top, in what case it's not my favorite place. In the moment, afterwards, I love it. But Iroquois Park is one of our great parks in our entire park system. And I know that we're here right now in the heart of the winter, and there's still some snow on the ground that hopefully by the end of today will be mostly gone. But we are looking ahead to when the sun is shining brightly in the summertime. And people are going to be coming to here in South Louisville from all over the region to enjoy the beauty of Iroquois Park. People have been coming here for more than a century and enjoying this wonderful park. It's one of the original big three parks that Frederick Law Olmsted designed for our city back in the 1890s. And we've made significant upgrades and improvements at Iroquois Parks just in the past 2 years since I've been mayor. Last year alone, we added 4 pickleball courts. Every time I come, they're incredibly busy. 2 tennis courts, a futsal court, and more. And thanks to our amazing Parks and Recreation team, many of whom are here with us today, the park is kept up wonderfully. Thank you all so much, and to your colleagues for the great work that you do in maintaining our park. There is so much power and value in having a great park system with lots of things to do, outdoor activities like I just described, and more. And we're lucky that one of the great gems of Iroquois Park is that it's also been part of our cultural life here in Louisville for generations. And that's because of the Iroquois Amphitheater. The Iroquois Amphitheater is owned by Louisville Metro government, and it's also the official amphitheater of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It hosts great local events like Louisville Jazz Fest, the Louisville Philharmonia, and the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, which is put on by the Parks Alliance of Louisville. If you have not checked that out, put the dates on your calendar for next October already. It is a once really unique experience. So preparations are already underway for the amphitheater's 87th season of bringing great entertainment to the people of Louisville. The lineup for this season includes the return of Cake, Dwight Yoakam, the Bare Naked Ladies, and other big names. And really exciting, this new season will include a new partner in the work of programming and creating great experiences for people who want to venture and come to Iroquois Amphitheater for a wonderful cultural experience. It's a new partner for this venue across the street, but it's not a new partner for us here in Louisville. I'm so proud to announce that Louisville Metro government's new and strategic multi-year partnership has been signed with Danny Wimmer Presents. This is the same great company that brings us Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life every year, which we all know, as I talked about earlier, is growing by leaps and bounds every year, putting Louisville on the map for new, great reasons. They do incredible work. Last year, Bourbon and Beyond set new attendance records. It won Festival of the Year from the International Entertainment Buyers Association. And so Danny Wimmer Presents will be bringing their talent, their resources, their experience, their passion for great live entertainment right here to Iroquois Entertainment to help us expand the lineup and events and shows that happen there. They've got a new logo that they're going to talk about that's on display, a new website that's going to be launching soon to make it easier than ever to purchase tickets for your favorite shows. So we have some folks from Danny Wimmer Presents here today that we work with very closely, and we're so excited as this partnership expands. Let me introduce now to talk a little bit more about where this partnership is going, Doris Sims, who's the Senior Vice President of Danny Wimmer Presents. Doris?
Good morning, everyone. Well, as a lifelong Louisvillian and a South Ender, I've lived within a couple of miles of Iroquois Park all of my life. So I am so excited to be here on behalf of Danny Wimmer Presents and talk about our partnership. I'd also like to introduce, I have several colleagues here today. I have Joe Litvak, who is going to be leading the effort and curating the experiences out here. Jameson Cooper, Zach Evans, and Marty Storch, who this is a full circle experience for him. He worked with the city and Parks and Rec for many, many years, specifically with Iroquois Amphitheater. So he is here to help bring this to the next level. That's basically what we want to do. DWP's commitment to Louisville began in 2014 with Louder Than Life. The addition of Bourbon and Beyond was in 2017. We grew from one 2-day festival with 36,000 attendees to 2 festivals over 8 days and over 400,000 attendees this year. Our goal is to make Louisville an even better place to go. Our Louisville office was opened here in 2018. So Danny Wimmer and our team was very committed to making sure that we're a part of the community. And now we're partnering with the city and Louisville Parks and Rec to take this historic and iconic Iroquois Amphitheater to the next level. How are we going to do that? So we're curating the experiences. We're going to secure more quality and diverse events throughout the season. Currently, we have 29 events booked, concert events, and then for about 50 so far?
And 2 more confirmed by Joe as we speak.
Awesome. So, talent acquisition is a big part of what we do. And we do that every day with all of our festivals. We're able to bring that here to the city. Marketing, we've just introduced a fresh new logo. So you have the support. The city has the support of our team, 75 plus full-time talented individuals from all across the country are working to market the Iroquois Amphitheater and do everything we can to make sure people are really enjoying this area of town. We have a dynamic lineup. The mayor mentioned several of those. We are announcing and going on sale Friday at 10 a.m. with Yacht Rock Review, Shine on Floyd, Taylor Shines, which I think I'll have to take my granddaughters to, and the Jazz Festival will all go on sale this Friday. Currently on sale we have, Tom Keeper will go on sale February 7th, and then the Bare Naked Ladies will go on sale soon. One exciting note, because I've been getting lots of texts and calls about some of our sold out shows. So we currently have 4 sold out shows: Dwight Yoakam, Bonnie Raitt, Wilco, Melissa Etheridge, and the Indigo Girls. We're going to be releasing just a limited number of standing room only tickets on this Friday at 12 Eastern Standard Time. So it's a very limited number for those of you who missed out the first time. So our new website, IroquoisAmphitheater.com, will be launching sometime tomorrow, but you could still go online today and purchase tickets. So I really want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Councilman Rui over here, Rachel Rohr. We have such a good community in the South End. We have a lot of wonderful leaders here, and we're just looking forward to making our city and the South End even bigger and better. Marty, would you like to add anything?
Well, this is really cool. As Doris said, it really has come full circle. I was not around when Olmsted designed the parks, nor when Carol Channing played Iroquois Amphitheater. But I've been around for quite a while. I'm just going to say that. I'll never forget, unfortunately, sometimes you have to do budget cuts. And I'll never forget sitting in front of then Mayor Abramson and his staff and talking about, yes, we can take the Iroquois Amphitheater in-house, not a problem. He goes, do you know anything about it? I said, I know a lot about events, sir. I think we can make this work. And he took a chance. And I'll just be honest, Travis Tritt was our first major show, and we failed miserably. But through failures, you get to have successes. And I think back at that, but that opened up the doors to so many things. It showed that we were a viable venue. And then we had partners locally with Production Simple and some other ones that jumped in. Danny Hayes is always fond of saying, rising tides raise all ships. And I truly believe that's what the new marketing efforts are going to be. This is truly about the community, bringing the community together, opportunities to raise money for Michelle, Ben. I see Parks folks here. Appreciate you all and the partnership and the hospitality that you've shown. And it was nice not to have to ask where the restrooms were in the facility. But Mayor, we really are very excited about this. I brought all the list of the 30 plus the 20 shows and the 50, and Joe said you cannot read those names. They're not all on sale yet. So I'm going to adhere to what Joe says, but Doris told you 4 of the 8 shows already on sale, 2 more shows just confirmed. So we really are looking to, as she said, rock and roll it, this year. And speaking of Bourbon and Beyond, next Wednesday will be the official announcement, official party. It will be Friday, February 7th, House there in Germantown. Again, you heard Danny Wimmer wants to make a big difference in this community. He wants to be thought of as part of this community. You see the office support here. Our goal is to grow it to about 10 or 12 within the next 3 to 5 years. And I think we can do that with everyone's help. And to quote Danny Wimmer, let's go.
Thank you, Doris, and thank you, Marty. We're so excited for this summer. We're so excited for next year's Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life, and to continue to find even more ways to expand the partnership. And one more thing, those shows might not be starting until while it's warm. But there's a lot going on in and around Iroquois Park, even before the summer. And so, Councilwoman Rui, I want to invite everyone on your behalf to this district. In fact, right here to Colonial Gardens, come over the next couple weeks to decide what restaurant you want to go to before or after one of the shows at Iroquois Amphitheater. There are great things happening all year long right here at Colonial Gardens across the street from Iroquois Park. And we're excited to see this project and others in the nearby vicinity continue to grow. So I also finally want to recognize somebody. And good to see you. You'll come up, and Councilman, please. I want to introduce to you all an amazing member of our Louisville community who I met through Councilwoman Mulvey Wildridge. I'm sorry, Jenny. I'm sorry. I want to introduce Brandon Malone. Brandon Malone is a senior at DeSales High School. And we're thrilled to have Rick Blackwell and many other colleagues from DeSales with us here today to also celebrate this honor for Brandon. Because you see, earlier this month, Brandon and his girlfriend were near McNeely Lake Park, and the lake was frozen over. You remember those days. And Brandon heard cries for help. 2 teenage girls had fallen through the ice. Brandon ran down to the lake to help them. He pulled them out of the ice while his girlfriend called 911. When firefighters arrived, Brandon says they congratulated him on his bravery, and they also pointed out that he was taking a big risk and could have put himself in need of rescue. And I think since then, Brandon has acknowledged that point. But I've got to hand it to you, Brandon. You saw people in need, and your first instinct was to help them. And when Councilwoman Mulvey Woolridge reached out to me and told me about that she knows you and your family and had heard this story, we knew that we wanted to recognize because it's worth celebrating. And so today I've got a proclamation to proclaim at this very young age of yours that thanks to your efforts and your just really exemplify what us in Louisville are all about. And so today, we're happy to proclaim you a distinguished citizen, and I also want to extend an invitation. You know, we're opening 2 new pools this summer at Algonquin Park and Camp Taylor Park. So we'd love, based on your skills, to invite you to become a lifeguard, get the training you need, and meet me there for some good swimming in the warm weather. But thank you so much for your bravery, for helping somebody else, and congratulations. Thank you so much.
I would just like to say how grateful and happy I am right now. Did not think I would be here in this moment, and I'm just so grateful that I have all these people around me, and thank you so much.
And Brandon, but wait, there's more. Thanks to the generosity of Danny Wimmer Presents, you have just earned yourself, apparently, 2 free tickets for any one of these amazing shows at the Iroquois Amphitheater this summer. Thanks to the generosity of Danny Wimmer Presents. Special thanks to Marty and Doris for that. A few more notes before we get to questions from the media. On Sunday night, LMPD made several arrests in connection with a downtown street racing incident. 5 people were arrested, and LMPD towed 3 cars and confiscated 2 handguns. I want to be very clear to folks throughout Louisville that we are very serious about putting an end to criminal street racing in our city. LMPD will continue to take the actions like they took this weekend. You heard about a proposal that we're asking the state to help us with to give us even more tools to end criminal street racing in our community. It is negatively impacting far too many parts of our city, and we will stay on it until it's gone. It will simply not be tolerated. Also, sometime in February, we are going to propose to Metro Council an ordinance related to the disbursement of the next round of opioid settlement funds that come in. And my office is working right now with our colleagues on Metro Council to announce some of these next rounds of disbursements. But I do want to preview a couple of the programs that we're going to recommend supporting. First, a new district court diversion program for people who are cited for unlawful camping. Their first docket of this is tomorrow, and we want to be supportive of the diversion programs that are made available to individuals who are cited for unlawful camping in our community. We also want to support the Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk Mental Health Division and their efforts to support individuals who are in need, that are involved with addiction challenges, and we want to provide help. And finally, more prevention and education programs throughout Jefferson County Public Schools to help prevent young adults, to help prevent teenagers from getting hooked on drugs or alcohol in the first place that may lead them down a dark path. These are some of the efforts that we want to use these opioid settlements funds to help prevent the scourge of addiction from continuing to plague our community, and to help those who might already be addicted, help them on a new, healthier path for them. We will provide more details when that ordinance is filed, but wanted to give everybody a preview for what we are working on. And finally, before questions, I'm really excited about the next event I have today, and I invite all members of the media, your colleagues from all of your outlets, to join us. At noon today at the St. Matthew's Library, we are going to have our 3rd community engagement session on the Belvedere project, one of the projects that is being made possible by that over $1 billion of investment from the Kentucky General Assembly. We've been listening to the public all month, and this is our 3rd and final session, but we have a special guest today, and that's representatives from Heatherwick Studio in London that are the lead designers on this project, to talk a little bit about some of their other projects that they've designed all around the world, and how their work in the past is going to inform their work here in Louisville on the Belvedere. So that's going to be an exciting presentation at noon that we hope folks will join us for. As you can tell, I know we packed a lot of information into this week's briefing, but that's because there is a lot going on. We are so excited about the momentum of our city. Going to share some more information about that Thursday at my State of the City address. But for now, I'm happy to take any questions from members of the media.
Mr. Mayor, how might your office be following and reacting to Trump administration cuts or freezes on federal funding grants, whether that's organizations that the city oversees that may be using money for alcohol, drug recovery, anything that touches the city? How are you approaching that outcome?
Yeah, well, like everyone, we were made aware of that when everybody else was, about the freeze in federal expenditures that are happening right now. And so our team started from very early this morning, is working to understand the magnitude of what this means to not just the city government, but more importantly, the people of Louisville. For example, 90% of Louisville Metro Housing Authority is funded by the federal government. They serve 30,000 residents in our community. They have 90 days of cash available. That's the standard that they have for their operations. That's just one of many examples beyond just the traditional grants that come from the federal government. So maintaining the flow of federal funds into our city to help individuals is critically important. We're cataloging all of that right now, but we'll be continuing to advocate for that freeze to end, to let that flow begin.
Mayor, the Inspector General alleged that LMPD lied on the search warrant that ultimately led to the Deputy Mark Pryor. What's your response to those allegations from the Inspector General? Do you think that LMPD lied?
The Office of Inspector General plays a very important part in our community, along with the Citizens Review and Accountability Board. It's incredibly important, and I take their role seriously, as do I know many others do. It's also, so they have made some allegations regarding LMPD's activities. Based on the information I have seen so far, I have some concerns about the validity of those allegations. LMPD is reviewing all of that right now, and I'll have further comments once LMPD has completed their review. But making these serious allegations that they made about officers lying is very serious. And so if that's not correct, that's a big problem.
Mayor, since President Trump took office, immigration enforcement operations have begun sweeping through some major U.S. cities. I have kind of a large question.
Sure.
But would you consider becoming a sanctuary city? Do you know if ICE has been in Louisville, and what message do you have for undocumented immigrants in Louisville?
Thank you for asking. The question was broadly speaking about immigration and President Trump's initiatives since he has taken office. We are monitoring all of the proposals on issues related to immigration, other things that are coming out of the new Trump administration, proposals and changes at the federal and state level, so that we are best prepared to respond. Let me say a few things about immigration in our country. I'm the grandson of immigrants, the grandson of two individuals who fled Nazi Germany before the start of World War II. Legal immigration in our city, in our country, is so important. It adds wonderful richness to our culture. It adds strength to our economy. Here in Louisville, we are blessed to have a strong immigrant foreign-born population of nearly 40,000 people. Wonderful entrepreneurs, business owners, customers of business, people who add great strength to our city in so many ways. And so we need to continue to support and welcome those communities here in Louisville. At the same time, Louisville is not a sanctuary city. In 2018, the Trump Department of Justice sent a letter to the city of Louisville confirming that we are not a sanctuary city. And anyone who commits violent crimes in our city must face serious consequences. At the same time, we want LMPD to be focused on preventing violent crime from happening here in our city. And so that will continue to remain LMPD's policy, just as it has since 2018. I view immigration law enforcement as a federal responsibility. So we are waiting to see what, if any, changes are made, but so far nothing has changed with respect to LMPD's continued focus on preventing violent crime here in our community.
Mayor, what if any of a lot of these proposals that you have here actually have proposed legislation to be sponsored?
So we're working with with folks in Frankfurt right now, and we can get you the details of that as they come. But I think you'll start to see a few of these be sponsored in the coming weeks ahead. You know, they've had one week of session so far, so you're going to see more action here in the coming weeks.
Mr. Mayor, a personal question. Last week in federal court, Quintez Brown apologized for his crime. Do you accept his apology?
I appreciate his apology that he made in federal court on Friday, and I am ready to move forward for all the reasons I said in my victim impact statement last week.
Mayor, going along with the state legislation being, there's a bill in the state right now that says local governments shall not adopt or enforce regulations that create or maintain a registry of landlords or residential rental properties for any purpose. Louisville has local rental registries, short-term rental registry, flood rental registry that's relatively new. Do you read this legislation as eliminating Louisville's rental registries, and do you support or oppose the bill?
In its current form, I oppose the bill. Sorry, I should repeat the question. The question was about a bill pending in Frankfurt right now regarding preempting the local rental registry. It would also impact, as I understand it, the lead registry as well. Those, particularly, the lead registry, that is critically important to protect public health throughout our entire community. The rental registry, we have seen the importance of that here in the South Louisville communities of maintaining the quality of places for people to live. So in its current form, I oppose the bill, and we're in conversations with members of the General Assembly. Representative Rourke will be talking to you very soon here about that as well. In its current form, I oppose that piece of legislation.
One more question, guys.
Circling back to the IG report, what are your thoughts on Ed Harness himself, not just the office, and also Chief Humphrey had said that those allegations were completely misleading. I know you said that you wanted to have LMPD go through this some more and take time to learn more about the situation here, but what else can you say about that?
I think I fully answered that question in my previous answer about the OIG response.
Thank you all.
Anything else? Thank you all very much.